Right now in your home, a silent thief could be stealing your wealth. Not a burglar, not a scam. It could be the plant you've placed by your door, the one by your window, the one you thought was harmless. In Feng Shui, the wrong plant, or even the right plant in the wrong spot, doesn't just sit there. It chokes fortune. It blocks opportunity. It drains money energy from your life, little by little, without you even noticing. Have you ever wondered why you work so hard, yet wealth seems just out of reach? Why deals fall through at the last minute? Why money flows in but disappears as fast as it comes? Here's the truth. Your plants might be to blame. For centuries, the truly wealthy, emperors, merchants, powerful families understood this. They didn't decorate with plants at random. They chose them like they chose business partners with purpose, because they knew. The right plant opens doors to abundance. The wrong plant closes them tight. Today, I'll show you 9 powerful plants that can transform your home into a magnet for money. Plants that, when placed and cared for correctly, invite prosperity, protect wealth, and clear the path for success. But first, I challenge you. Take a hard look at the plants in your home. Could one of them be the reason your fortune feels stuck? Don't look away. What you learn today could change the flow of wealth in your life, forever. Plant 1, Cornstalk Draina, the wealth gatekeeper you might be ignoring. Stop and ask yourself this. Is the Cornstalk Draina in your home a silent magnet for wealth, or the very reason prosperity keeps passing you by? In Feng Shui, few plants carry as much financial power as the Cornstalk Draina. But here's what most people don't realize. Simply owning this plant doesn't guarantee fortune. In fact, if placed or cared for incorrectly, this wealth gatekeeper can do the exact opposite, blocking opportunity, choking off abundance, and leaving your efforts unrewarded. Let's break it down. The Cornstalk Draina is no ordinary houseplant. With its sturdy, upright trunk and wide-spreading, glossy green leaves, it symbolizes an open hand, a hand ready to receive the gifts of the universe. When positioned correctly, it acts like a beacon, drawing wealth energy towards your home or office and anchoring it firmly within. But here's the catch. Placement and care are everything. A Cornstalk Draina shoved into a dark corner, covered in dust, or left to wither doesn't invite wealth. It signals to the universe that you're not ready to receive. Worse, it creates stagnant energy, the kind that keeps opportunities out and drains your motivation from within. Think about this. Wealthy families, successful business owners, and master Feng Shui practitioners never place this plant randomly. They respect its power. They position it with intent, often in the east or southeast area of the home or office. These directions are linked with the wood element, representing growth, vitality, and a constant inflow of prosperity. The plant thrives where sunlight can touch it gently, where air circulates freely, and where it can stand tall as a guardian of fortune. Let me ask you, where is yours? Is it hidden behind furniture, forgotten in a shadowed hallway, or sitting next to clutter that suffocates its energy? If so, you may have unknowingly turned this powerful ally into a silent barrier, a block to the very abundance you seek. And what about care? The Cornstalk Draina is resilient, yes, but resilience is not immunity. A plant with dull, dusty leaves is like a mirror covered in grime. It can't reflect light, it can't attract wealth. The leaves of this plant are believed to absorb and channel financial energy. When they're dirty or neglected, it's as if your wealth antenna is broken. That's why successful people treat this plant with reverence. They wipe its leaves regularly, not just for appearance, but as a ritual to clear financial pathways. They water it mindfully, not too much, not too little, understanding that balance is key to sustained prosperity. Here's another secret few mention. When a Cornstalk Dracaena blooms, an event that doesn't happen often indoors, it's considered an omen of incoming fortune. A rare, powerful sign that a period of wealth, career breakthroughs, or major business success is near. If yours blooms, pay attention. Doors are about to open. But don't wait for the bloom to act. Start now. If you have this plant, examine it today. Is it clean, vibrant, and standing proud in a space where energy flows? Or is it tired, hidden, and silently begging for care? If you don't have one, consider this. Adding a Cornstalk Dracaena isn't just about decorating your space. It's about making a statement to yourself and to the universe that you're ready to welcome abundance. Here's what to do today. Place your Cornstalk Dracaena in the east or southeast of your home or office. These are your growth zones. Choose a spot near natural light, but avoid harsh, direct sun that could scorch the leaves. Keep it away from clutter, electronics, or dead corners where energy pools and stagnates. Wipe its leaves weekly. Let this be your ritual, a moment to clear both the plant's surface and your own financial intentions. Water moderately. Too much or too little throws off its balance and yours. Remember this, the Cornstalk Dracaena is not just a plant, it's a partner, a signal, a gatekeeper at the entrance of your wealth journey. Respect it, care for it, and position it wisely, and watch as doors begin to open and abundance finds its way to your home. Before you move on, take one final glance at your green guardian. Is it ready to invite fortune, or is it asking for your help to do so? Plant 2, Croin plant, the wealth torch you might be missing. Look closely at the plants in your home. Are they vibrant, full of life, bursting with color? Or do they sit quietly, green but dull, blending into the background? Because here's a truth that few realize. In Feng Shui, color is power. And when it comes to attracting wealth, no plant lights the path to prosperity quite like the Croin plant. Yet so many households overlook it, choosing plain green leaves over the fiery hues that signal abundance. That small choice? It could be the reason wealth passes your door without stopping. The Croin plant isn't just decoration. Its leaves are a flame, a visual torch that tells the universe you're ready for growth, opportunity, and wealth in all its forms. Those striking shades of gold, orange, red, and green aren't just beautiful. In Feng Shui, they represent prosperity, vitality, and a life force that draws good fortune like a magnet. That's why, for generations, the Croin plant has been a favorite of successful families and businesses. Look into old courtyards, noble gardens, or grand merchant homes, and you'll find these vibrant plants standing proud, placed with care where they can catch the rising sun. But here's where many go wrong. They place the Croin in shadow, or they let its leaves fade, turning its powerful energy into a whisper. A Croin kept in a dark corner loses its brilliance, and with it, its ability to attract wealth. Its colors fade, and so does its signal to prosperity. And when the Croin suffers, your energy flow suffers too. Business stagnates. Opportunities feel just out of reach. Deals slip through your fingers. All because the torch meant to light your path is dim. So what's the solution? First, placement. The Croin thrives where it can greet the day, near an east-facing window, where the morning sun awakens its colors and activates its wealth energy. The east is the direction of growth, new beginnings, and financial expansion. Let your Croin stand here like a beacon, catching the light and reflecting it back into your life. Next, care. This plant doesn't demand constant attention, but it does need respect. Too much shade, and its leaves will lose their brilliance, a sign, in Feng Shui, of declining fortune. Too much harsh sun, and the leaves may burn, turning opportunity into stress. The balance is gentle light, regular misting, and a watchful eye. And most importantly, keep it clean. Dusty leaves block energy. A croton with dull, dirty leaves can no longer light the way to wealth. Wipe its leaves gently, as if polishing a lantern, because that's what this plant is. Your personal lantern guiding fortune home. There's a reason shop owners often place crotons near their entrance or in their reception area. The plant doesn't just welcome customers. It creates a space where positive energy gathers, where business flows smoothly, where transactions feel natural and prosperous. It signals to all who enter, this is a place where good fortune lives. And there's a reason families place crotons in their living room where life's energy is strongest. The plant doesn't just add beauty. It anchors wealth energy in the heart of the home, protecting it, nourishing it, helping it grow. So take a moment. Look at your home, your office, your shop. Is there a space where energy feels flat, where business or personal fortune seems to stall? That's where your croton belongs. Let it stand tall. Let its colors blaze. Let it remind you every time you see it that wealth isn't just about effort, it's about energy. And the croton plant is here to help you shape that energy into something powerful, vibrant, and abundant. Remember, in the world of wealth, a dull torch leads nowhere. But a croton in full color, that's a signal fortune can't ignore. Plant 3, Snake Plant, the wealth defender at your door. Imagine this. Your home is filled with hard work, plans, dreams of success, but invisible forces keep wealth from staying. You work, but the rewards slip through your hands. The snake plant might be the defender you're missing. In Feng Shui, this plant is more than decoration. With its upright, sword-like leaves, it stands as a silent guardian of prosperity. Yet many households place it thoughtlessly or neglect its care, turning this protector into a powerless figure, unable to shield your fortune. Let us be clear, the snake plant is not just a plant, it's a barrier. Each sharp, vertical leaf acts like a blade cutting through negativity, blocking harmful energy before it can cross your threshold. This is why, for generations, merchants and wise families have placed snake plants near their main doors or entryways. They knew a house without a protector invites trouble. A door without a guard lets opportunity escape. But here's the danger. If you hide this plant in a dark corner, if its leaves are dusty, if it wilts from neglect, you weaken your home's natural defense. A tired, forgotten snake plant is like a rusty sword. It no longer protects, no longer keeps the flow of wealth safe within. Instead of blocking misfortune, it may begin to attract it. So where should this plant live? The main entrance is its natural post. Let it stand tall beside your door, where it can meet every energy that enters, filtering out the bad and welcoming the good. In a workspace, place it near where you make decisions or handle money. Here, the snake plant doesn't just protect, it sharpens focus, supports clear thinking, and guards against costly mistakes. And how should you care for it? Respect its strength by keeping its leaves clean and upright. Dusty leaves block the very energy the plant is meant to manage. Wipe them down gently, as if polishing a protective shield. The snake plant thrives on balance. It doesn't ask for constant attention, just enough water to stay strong, enough light to stay alert. Overwater it and you drown its energy, neglect it, and its protective force weakens. There's a reason why in old shops you'd find snake plants flanking the door, standing like quiet sentries. These plants weren't there for looks. They were the first line of defense, ensuring that as money entered, it stayed. That as customers came, they brought positive intent. In homes, the snake plant guards family harmony as well as fortune. Its steady, upright growth mirrors the stability we seek in our lives. A house with a healthy snake plant is like a fortress with strong walls, secure, focused, ready for abundance. Now ask yourself, where is your snake plant? Is it hidden, forgotten, drained of life? Or does it stand proudly at its post, leaves clean and strong, doing the work it was meant to do? If you don't yet have one, consider this. Adding a snake plant isn't just about beauty. It's about setting a boundary between you and misfortune. It's about giving your home the silent, steadfast guardian it deserves. The snake plant asks for little, but in return it offers much. Protection, clarity, and a steady flow of wealth energy that supports your hard work and dreams. Remember, a home without a guard invites chaos. A snake plant placed with purpose and care ensures your fortune stays where it belongs, with you. Plant 4, Jade Plant, the living safe that guards your wealth. If you had a safe that quietly protected your fortune day and night, would you hide it in a dark corner, forget to check its lock, or let it rust? Of course not. Yet this is exactly what many people do with their jade plant, the living symbol of wealth preservation in Feng Shui. They place it carelessly, neglect its care, and unknowingly weaken the very energy meant to keep their money secure. The jade plant, with its thick, rounded leaves that resemble coins, has been cherished for centuries as a natural guardian of wealth. Unlike plants that draw new fortune, the jade plant's true power lies in holding what you've already earned. It's the silent keeper of savings, the energetic safe that protects against waste, loss, and reckless spending. But here's the critical truth. The jade plant can only do this if you position and care for it with intention. Placing it in the wrong space, especially the bedroom, is like leaving your safe in a storm. The bedroom is a place of rest, quiet, yin energy. The jade plant carries active, yang energy linked to movement and growth. Put them together and you create imbalance, disturbed sleep, restless nights, a sense that peace and stability are just out of reach. Worse, you risk turning its wealth-preserving force into a source of unease. Where should this plant stand? In business, place it near the cash register or in your reception area, spots where money flows in and out. Let the jade plant anchor these spaces, keeping cash steady, customers loyal, and transactions smooth. In your home, place it on your work desk, where it quietly supports wise decisions, sharpens focus, and encourages careful financial planning. Many who do this find their investments grow more stable, their choices more thoughtful, their wealth more secure. But placement is only part of the equation. The jade plant thrives on care that reflects the balance you seek in your finances. Not too much, not too little. Overwatering can cause its roots to rot, just as overreaching in money matters can lead to loss. Neglect, on the other hand, dries out its energy, much like ignoring your finances invites waste. Keep its leaves clean and shiny. Each leaf is a symbol of the coins you protect. When you wipe them, imagine polishing your fortune, clearing away obstacles to stability. Some masters of Feng Shui take it a step further. They place a gold coin or a small ingot beneath the jade plant, reinforcing the message that this is not just a plant. This is a guardian of treasure. And it works. Shopkeepers who honor this tradition often speak of steadier sales, loyal customers, and a sense that their hard-earned wealth is safe from harm. Families who place the jade plant with care notice calmer financial waters, fewer impulsive decisions, and greater confidence in their plans. So ask yourself now, how have you treated your jade plant? Is it in a space that honors its role? Are its leaves clean, its soil healthy, its presence respected? Or have you, without realizing it, weakened your living safe, leaving your fortune exposed? If you don't yet have a jade plant, consider bringing one into your space today, not as decoration, but as a partner in protecting what you've built. The jade plant does not promise quick riches, but it offers something far more precious. The energy of lasting security, the quiet strength that keeps fortune where it belongs. In a world where money comes and goes too easily, that is a gift beyond measure. Plant 5, Chinese Evergreen, the quiet force that balances wealth and harmony. Not all plants that attract wealth shout for attention. Some work quietly, gently, creating the harmony that prosperity needs to stay. The Chinese Evergreen is one such plant. Its power isn't in fiery colors or dramatic shapes. Its power is in balance, the steady, calming energy that keeps fortune anchored, relationships peaceful, and opportunities flowing smoothly. In Feng Shui, the Chinese Evergreen is seen as the plant of quiet strength. With its broad, lush leaves streaked in silver or white, it symbolizes endless growth and steady expansion. This is not a plant of sudden riches or dramatic breakthroughs. It's a plant of lasting success, of wealth that builds gradually, layer upon layer, like a tree that grows strong over time. But here's the mistake many make. They treat the Chinese Evergreen like any ordinary houseplant. They tuck it into forgotten corners, let its leaves gather dust, or place it in areas where energy stagnates. And in doing so, they weaken its ability to balance the space and invite prosperity. The Chinese Evergreen is most powerful when placed at the heart of the home, in the living room, or in a central area where family energy gathers. Here, it acts as a natural regulator, smoothing out tension, calming disputes, and creating a foundation where wealth can thrive. In a business setting, it supports teamwork, attracts helpful mentors, and encourages steady career progress. Imagine an office where deals close smoothly, where colleagues support each other, where growth feels natural and lasting. That's the energy this plant helps to create. But placement is just the beginning. The Chinese Evergreen thrives on gentle care that mirrors the harmony it brings. It likes indirect light, moist but not soggy soil, and a space free of clutter. Neglect it and its leaves may yellow or droop, reflecting stagnation in your finances or relationships. Keep it vibrant, and you'll notice subtle but powerful shifts. Calmer days, clearer decisions, smoother progress toward your goals. In old Feng Shui traditions, it's said that when a woman plants and nurtures a Chinese evergreen on a Tuesday facing the northeast, the plant absorbs the purest energy, multiplying its power to bring prosperity and peace. This isn't superstition, it's a reflection of how intention and care amplify the energy of any object in your space. And that's the true gift of the Chinese evergreen. It reminds you that prosperity isn't just about chasing fortune. It's about creating an environment where wealth feels at home, where it can stay, grow, and support a life of balance and fulfillment. So take a look at your space. Is there tension in your home? Stagnation in your work? Could a touch of steady, balancing energy help smooth the path ahead? If so, let the Chinese evergreen be your ally. Place it where life happens, where conversations flow, where dreams take root. Care for it as you would care for the wealth and harmony you seek. And watch as its quiet strength helps create a space where prosperity doesn't just visit, it stays. Plant 6, Devil's Ivy, the climbing vine that lifts your wealth higher. There's a reason Devil's Ivy is called the Golden Vine in Feng Shui. This isn't just a plant that decorates a corner or adds a splash of green to your space. It's a living force designed to help your wealth climb higher, stronger, steadier, like its own leaves reaching upward toward the light. But here's the truth few notice. Devil's Ivy can't lift your fortune if you let it trail without purpose, wilt from neglect, or place it where energy is trapped. When handled carelessly, this powerful ally becomes a tangle of missed opportunities, a symbol of stagnant finances. Devil's ivy is known for its heart-shaped leaves and soft, lush growth, but don't let its gentle appearance fool you. This plant carries strong yang energy, the energy of movement, growth, and ambition. When placed with care, it doesn't just brighten a room. It unblocks financial stagnation, restores cash flow, and helps new opportunities find their way to you. This is why businesses often place devil's ivy at key points. Above the cashier's counter on office desks, near entryways where customers come and go. They know, when this plant thrives, so does business. It's no accident that in successful shops and companies, you'll find devil's ivy hanging like a banner of fortune, leaves clean, vines guided upwards, not left to droop and wither. And that's where many go wrong. Devil's ivy left to trail aimlessly on the floor, shoved into dark corners, or smothered by clutter loses its power. Its energy becomes tangled, just like the finances of the space it occupies. Its leaves, once symbols of abundance and resilience, become reminders of wealth left unclaimed. So where should this golden vine grow? Near natural light, where it can stretch towards opportunity. At your main entrance, where it greets positive energy and filters out the negative. On a shelf above your workspace, where it quietly supports clarity, creativity, and smooth business flow. But wherever you place it, guide it. Devil's ivy doesn't want to sprawl without purpose. Its strength is in its direction, upward, outward, always seeking the light. Caring for this plant is simple but meaningful. Wipe its leaves often. Dusty leaves can't shine, and wealth energy can't flow through them. Water it moderately, enough to keep it strong without drowning its roots. And if you truly want to align your intent with its energy, mist it in the morning, a symbolic gesture that awakens both plant and fortune with the day's first light. Remember, devil's ivy isn't just about pulling in money. It's about keeping that money moving, making sure that prosperity flows through your life like a steady, unstoppable current. In homes and businesses where cash flow has slowed, where deals stall, where effort seems to bring little reward, a healthy, well-placed devil's ivy can make all the difference. So look around. Is there a space in your home or office where energy feels stuck? Where money comes in but seems to go no further? That's where your golden vine belongs. Let it climb. Let it thrive. Let it remind you that true prosperity isn't static. It grows, it moves, it reaches ever higher. And with devil's ivy as your ally, so can you. Plant 7, rubber plant, the shield that protects wealth and stability. When it comes to safeguarding what you've built, few plants in Feng Shui match the quiet strength of the rubber plant. Its broad, thick leaves and sturdy form do more than add greenery to your space. They stand as a living shield, protecting your wealth, stabilizing your finances, and anchoring your fortune so it doesn't slip away. But like any shield, it only works if placed and cared for with intention. Too often, people choose the rubber plant for its easy care, then forget the role it's meant to play. They tuck it into corners without thought, let its leaves gather dust, or worse, place it where its protective energy turns disruptive. The result: instead of guarding your wealth, it stands powerless, unable to block the forces that drain success. In Feng Shui, the rubber plant symbolizes resilience, determination, and financial security. It's the plant of those who want to not just gain wealth, but keep it safe, to build a foundation strong enough to weather life's storms. And that foundation starts with placement. The rubber plant belongs at points of entry, your main door, balcony, or the front of your office, where it can intercept negative energy before it enters your space. This is where it acts like a guardian, filtering out misfortune, envy, and harmful intent, while letting opportunity and prosperity flow through. What it must not do is sit in the bedroom. The rubber plant carries strong yang energy, the energy of movement, protection, action. The bedroom, by contrast, is a place of yin energy, rest, and quiet. Mix the two and you create imbalance. Disturbed sleep, mental restlessness, and tension that can ripple into your financial life. Beyond placement, care matters deeply. The rubber plant thrives on balance. Enough light to stay strong, enough water to stay healthy, but not so much that its energy becomes muddied. Its large, glossy leaves are like mirrors to the energy in your space. When clean and vibrant, they reflect strength, clarity, and security. When dusty or neglected, they signal vulnerability, a weakened barrier between you and financial instability. That's why those who understand the true power of the rubber plant treat its care as a ritual. Wiping the leaves isn't just housekeeping, it's a symbolic act, clearing the path for protection, renewing the plant's strength so it can renew yours. And if you want to take this a step further, place a small gold coin or protective charm at the base of the plant. This reinforces its role, turning it from a simple plant into an active participant in guarding your fortune. In business, many place rubber plants at their office entrance, flanking the door like silent sentries. They know this isn't about aesthetics. It's about setting a tone, one of stability, focus, and protection. In homes, the rubber plant helps create a sense of groundedness, a feeling that wealth is not fleeting but safe, steady, and secure. So ask yourself, where does your rubber plant stand? Is it guarding your space, or is it hidden, its strength wasted? Are its leaves clean, its form strong, its placement purposeful? Or has it become just another forgotten piece of decor, offering no shield, no stability? The rubber plant is there to serve as your silent protector. Give it the respect it deserves, and it will repay you by helping keep your fortune safe, your path clear, and your success steady. Because true wealth isn't just about what you earn, it's about what you keep. Plant 8, Bonsai Pine, the rooted strength that holds wealth for generations. If you want wealth that lasts, not fleeting riches, but true, steady prosperity, look to the bonsai pine. In Feng Shui, no plant better symbolizes resilience, stability, and enduring fortune. With its deep roots and upright branches, the bonsai pine reflects the mindset of those who build success not for a moment, but for a lifetime. Yet many people treat this powerful plant as mere decoration. They place it where energy is weak, neglect its form, or fail to see the symbolism behind its structure. The result: the plant's strength is wasted, and the wealth it's meant to anchor drifts away like sand through fingers. The bonsai pine is not just a beautiful miniature tree. Every curve of its trunk, every spread of its canopy is a reminder. Prosperity that lasts must be grounded. Its deep roots represent wealth secured, assets protected, fortunes guarded against sudden loss. Its strong, reaching branches symbolize ambition, the steady climb toward greater success, always balanced, always connected to the foundation below. But for this plant to work its magic, placement matters. The bonsai pine belongs in places where energy moves and gathers: your living room, where family life and fortune meet; your balcony, where fresh air and opportunity enter the home; your office, where ideas take root and careers grow. Here, the plant acts as both a magnet for prosperity and a barrier against instability. What you must avoid is tucking it into dark, lifeless corners where energy stagnates. In such spots, the bonsai pine's power fades. Its symbolism of stability weakens, and instead of helping your wealth grow, it mirrors stagnation and missed potential. Care for the bonsai pine is an act of mindfulness. This is not a plant to neglect or water without thought. It asks you to prune with purpose, to shape its form as you would shape your ambitions, with patience, attention, and a clear vision of what you want to build. Its presence reminds you daily. Wealth without grounding is wealth at risk. A well-placed, well-cared-for bonsai pine helps protect against that risk. In business, the bonsai pine stands as a sign of authority and long-term success. You'll find it in offices where leaders think not of the next sale, but of building legacies. You'll see it in shops where owners plan for the future, not just today's profits. And in homes, it offers more than financial strength. It's a blessing of longevity, of health, of peace that supports prosperity in all its forms. That's why the bonsai pine is often chosen as a meaningful gift. For parents, to wish them long life and steady fortune. For business partners, to symbolize shared success that stands the test of time. Ask yourself now, do you have a space that honors this plant's power? Is your bonsai pine standing where energy flows, where its roots can symbolically hold your wealth firm? Or has it been left in a forgotten corner, its message of stability unheard? The bonsai pine isn't just a plant. It's a quiet force that helps you build not just wealth, but the foundation that keeps that wealth strong. Respect it, care for it, place it with purpose, and let it remind you every day that true prosperity isn't built overnight. It's nurtured, shaped, and held steady, like the bonsai pine itself. Plant 9. Christ Thorn, the guardian that shields your wealth from harm. When you think of wealth plants, you might picture soft leaves, flowing shapes, gentle greenery. But true prosperity doesn't just need attraction, it needs protection. And that's where the Christ Thorn stands apart. In Feng Shui, this is the plant of resilience, of defense, of safeguarding what you've earned from forces that would steal it away. Yet, so many overlook its power. They see the thorns and think only of danger. But in truth, those sharp spines are symbols of vigilance, natural weapons that block negative energy, deception, and financial harm. The Christ Thorn is not here to charm. It's here to guard. With its sturdy stems covered in protective thorns and its bright, bold blossoms, this plant acts like a living barrier between your fortune and misfortune. It's long been used by those who understand that wealth must not only be welcomed, it must be shielded. But like all powerful tools, its strength depends on how you use it. The Christ Thorn should never be placed in the heart of your home. In the living room or bedroom, its sharp energy disrupts harmony, stirs tension, and invites conflict. This plant is a warrior, and warriors belong on the boundary, not at the center of peaceful life. The right place for your Christ Thorn is at the edge, balconies, gardens near the front entrance. There it stands as a sentinel facing outward, turning back harmful forces before they cross your threshold. There its energy works for you, protecting the fortune you've built, the peace you've cultivated, the dreams you've planted. Care for the Christ Thorn is simple but crucial. It thrives in bright light, needing the sun's strength to fuel its own. Its soil should be well drained, its form respected. And when its vibrant flowers bloom, whether in red, pink, or yellow, it's seen as a powerful omen. A sign that fortune is near, that prosperity is ready to enter your life under the plant's watchful guard. In shops and businesses, wise owners place the Christ Thorn at entrances or in gardens, where it signals strength, deters envy, and protects earnings. In homes, it watches over doorways, ensuring that only positive energy steps inside. Some even pair it with protective charms or symbols of wealth, reinforcing its role as the guardian of abundance. So ask yourself, is your wealth guarded? Is there a force at your door, standing between you and the harm that can so easily drain fortune away? Or have you left your prosperity unprotected, hoping good luck will be enough? The Christ thorn doesn't ask for attention, but when placed with care, it offers a rare gift: security. It reminds you that wealth is not just about drawing in good fortune. It's about keeping that fortune safe. And with this plant as your ally, you can stand confident, knowing that while you build your success, something strong stands watch. The Christ thorn, not just a plant, but your silent guardian at the gate. Final reflection, where true wealth begins. Take a moment. Close your eyes and picture your home, not just its walls and furniture, but its energy. Picture each plant you've chosen, each green corner you've tended or perhaps forgotten. Imagine how, together, they shape the flow of fortune through your space, like unseen currents of wind carrying abundance, or silently letting it slip away. These 9 plants aren't just decorations. They are companions on your journey toward a life where prosperity feels natural, where opportunity knocks gently at your door, where peace and wealth grow side by side. But their power is not magic. Their power is a reflection of your intention, of the care you give, the respect you show, the harmony you create between what you want and how you welcome it. Wealth is not just what fills your bank account. True wealth is the calm that comes from knowing you are aligned with the world around you. It's the quiet confidence that rises when your home, your heart, and your dreams move in the same rhythm. And it begins with simple choices, like where you place a plant, how you wipe a leaf, how you open your space to light and life. So tomorrow morning, when sunlight first touches your window, pause. Look at the green guardians standing in your home. Ask yourself, are they helping me open the door to fortune, or have I left that door closed without realizing it? And deeper still, ask, what door within myself am I ready to open, so that not just money, but all the riches of life may enter? Because in the end, wealth begins not in the soil or the pot, but in the heart that chooses to see, to care, and to grow.